That's great, eh?
Swain.
I've never seen anything like it.
Wow, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's got that real hiss and bite to it, but but at the same time it's got the wooden sound of a recorder. No, that's a brilliant thing. Another one, is it? Another one.
Roy McManus A. Belfast.
That's a really warm, mellow whistle. It's got that, it's definitely got that wood kind of feel about it, but it's got the metal as well. It's really bizarre.
Nice. This is a new kid on the block.
New kid on the block.
Yeah, this is a Glen Luce High D for sitting in vans while you're trucking up and down motorways.
Okay.
Yeah. Under 20 quid.
Under 20 quid?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think about 15 quid, 16 quid. Glen Luce.
Yeah, proper bargain.
Right, you can have that, take that with you.
Sure.
Yeah, that's really nice. Now this, I don't know whether you've heard of the Oz whistle.
I have, and I do notice that, I recognise that design, the Oz, but...
Now this is, in my opinion, the greatest high D ever made.
Okay.
You tell me if you think the same as me.
In the lower register it's got this really nice warm clarity, but then once it gets to... It's so easy to play, but it almost feels like someone's put a little bit of felt or something inside it.
It goes sweet, and the higher you go, the sweeter it gets. And it's... Oh! Well done, Mitch.
Amazing whistle.
Well, it's great great to have you here, and I only discovered you literally synchronicity. I saw you the day before you contacted me with John McCusker. You've obviously gone from being a whistle player to suddenly appearing on stages all over the place. And how did that happen?
So, John McCusker I've known for a very long time. He was a brilliant guide and tutor to me as I was younger, when I was discovering whistles and playing. I met him when I was about 10 or 11, and he showed me my very first low whistle. I had a little spit down it. It wasn't very good. And I went and got some whistle of my own, and it kept building up, and he asked if I would join him for a couple of tunes, maybe when I was about 17, which I did, and it was brilliant, it was amazing. I was definitely a little bit nervous and butterflies at the time. And then he's recently had his 25th anniversary, 25 years of playing music, and he gave me a text just saying, do you want to be part of this tour but I'm doing, and just let me know. I mean, if you want to do it or not. And I had a look at my calendar and deleted everything in the possible space and just went, I reckon I can make some space for you, John. Yeah, and it was very out of the blue, but it was lovely, and it was really awesome to be able to be part of that and be part of these amazing magic musicians who everyone respects, and then to be part of something that has some younger musicians as well, like the guitarist Dennis White and brilliant singer Adam Holmes from Edinburgh. It was a really nice combination of young and old musicians, but that's how I got into that, John.
You said earlier that you were basically learning classical flute, so obviously you've learned all the breathing techniques and obviously the musicality. What was it that just tipped you over into the kind of Celtic world kind of area?
So I saw a DVD. Both me and my dad, we weren't into traditional music beforehand. We never really stepped foot into that world at all. But we were given a DVD by a friend of ours, and it was a DVD of Kate Rusby live from Leeds with John and Mike and Andy Cutting and loads of amazing musicians. And there was a set of tunes on that record, which it was one of the first tunes I ever learnt, but it was where John was playing a low D whistle, one of your low D whistles he was playing, and it was just such a brilliant sound. Like the classical flute, I like it, but it can almost sound a bit twee sometimes, and then this beautiful low melody just came out of nowhere, and it was so warm and so fantastic, and I was like, oh, I've got to find out what that is, but I had no idea what the thing was. But that's I got into whistles, but that album brought me into traditional music and traditional song and the way to play it, and it was that's about 12 years ago now, and it was.
So who did you kind of really follow as your guide? Like I followed Matt Malloy to begin with. So
for flutes and whistles, Mike McGoldrick, just all the way, such a brilliant player, and just has such a way with music as well, just to fuse kind of different genres together to make it so exciting and to appeal to kind of a younger generation of musicians who hadn't discovered traditional music, but also appeal to the older generation who had discovered it, and they're like, ooh, it's nice to hear two different things just thrown together, but done so, it just with such balance
and taste.
Yeah, it's not.
Donald Shaer, I think, had quite a lot of a hand in that.
Yeah, he had a big hand on that, and producing the whole thing. He's an amazing musician as well. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into traditional music, and I can't think of there can't be many better ways of doing it really. If you've not discovered it before, and it's completely new to you and your family.
So you've kind of taken a bit of a turn away from going down the normal course into music. How are you finding the actual being on the road and, you know, surviving?
Surviving, yeah.
Yes.
Survival. That's
I'll put the full stop on surviving, question mark.
Question mark, to be continued.
Because I have a great history of all of these lads back 25, maybe more years, and seeing the chaos that ensues when you get involved in Irish music, and you're one of what I class as the third generation. How are you surviving it?
How am I surviving? With excess fat, I suppose. lots of beer. Lots of beer. It is a very bizarre experience. It's quite amazing. So you've got to do mental hours of driving, and then you get to your gig, you do that. You'll have hot food or not hot food as it happens, and then you'll go back to your hotel after the gig, see some amazing people, and then you'll go back, have a few beers, and then if you're with Mike, if Mike's involved, there'll undoubtedly be tunes and sessions, and you'll be playing another gig's worth of material until, God knows, like 3 or 4 in the morning, and then you'll get up at 9, 10 o'clock and continue that lifestyle for and through. But it's just so sociable, and it's just such a...
So nothing's changed really.
Nothing's changed since I was 3. No, it's
But one thing I did notice even then, with all the chaos, and there was absolute and utter chaos, the music never suffered for it. Mind you, saying that, I remember seeing John Shaer turn up at a gig at the Camden Festival, quite a lot the worse for wear, and he played a blinder, but my God, I think he must have just got buried after that night. But no, it's amazing how the music doesn't suffer. It's almost part and parcel.
Totally, and it's the music in that, like I suppose singers will probably suffer more than other music, other than instrumentalists, but you just feed off each other. Like, it doesn't really matter if you're all you're all really hungover, but just you'll look at each other and just feel amazed by what you're a part of, and the fact that I'm from Essex, and then suddenly I'll be in a room with someone from Glasgow, someone from Austria, and just all over the world, and then suddenly you're playing this beautiful music together, and sometimes with no rehearsal at all, it will just all kind of fall together, and you just be like, oh, this is very nice, this is very lovely, and you just carry on in that kind of vein. It doesn't really matter if you're hungover or full of cold or ill or anything like that. You just feed off the buzz in the room, and it's just brilliant. You don't need to worry about anything else.
Marvellous. Where do you see yourself going from here? I mean, have you got any ideas for an album? Because I'm seriously into getting, as we've discussed earlier, getting people playing. And the more people that are playing whistles, it's a great in to playing anything, because the whistle, it's a very simple instrument, but it's also a very revealing instrument, because there's so much you can do with it. As you've discovered, and now making a life for yourself playing flutes, whistles, and obviously you like me, a string player as well, fiddles, which we haven't even gone near yet. I have a wonderful fiddle down here, which you may have a look at. So yes, where do you see yourself as a Toby Shaer?
Shaer, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I've done a little solo EP just to promote myself and take to gigs and stuff. But in terms of a solo record, I have been planning it with some different people, but it's not something that I'm massively committed to at the moment, just because I enjoy playing other people's music so much, and it's also very stressful playing your own music, and I think, is someone going to like it? Well, I don't know, is anyone going to like it? I don't know, whereas playing other people's music, you like it and you don't really care if anyone else likes it or not. But yeah, there is I'm planning along that kind of vibe of showing off whistles and flutes and putting it into genres, but it wouldn't necessarily fit into, but it totally can fit into.
Well, that's it. It can fit into, and this is what excites me about the whistle. That it's not necessarily a Celtic instrument. It's an instrument.
Yes.
Like what you see behind you. You can do anything you like on them, and that's really what I'm looking for. Obviously, there's a whole new generation of players coming through, and to broaden their scope is something I'm committed to, but also people who are now coming 50 who are looking to do something maybe in their later life, which I'm looking at the health quality of the breathing aspect and the right brain aspect to keep people healthy. Absolutely. Because I'm coming up 60 this year and I'm still feeling 25, and I put a lot of it down to being a musician, and especially playing the instrument, which is the whistle. I'm seeing a lot of people now, and all the people we're talking about, that I can't see them not playing whistle when they're 75, 80. So it's a whole new thing that seems to be coming around. I mean, where are you? I mean, you're very young. It's something that maybe you want to be a part of and get people playing more.
Absolutely. Where I grew up in Essex, it has traditional music there, but just not young people playing music, because when you mention folk music, when you talk about folk music to someone in my age in Essex, I think their immediate thought is of 3 bearded men in jumpers jumping around a campfire, and singing just singing rubbish songs, but it's not like that at all. And the folk music that I listen to can be technically amazing, it can be thought-provoking, it can be absolutely brilliantly designed and well up to modern music standards, but it's
and beyond.
I feel much further
because my children, I keep them away from screens and I only play them real music, and they ask me when they hear stuff, is this machine music or is this real music? And I think there is now becoming quite a line defining the two, and the real music is something that hits you in a certain area, whereas machine music hits you in another sort of area. And I think this is the thing that people, especially, I can't believe that, I have to believe, but there's so many young people now getting into real music, and it's starting to burgeon throughout the world, and this is something I feel to push through, and get people playing instruments, because it's dying.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so easy for people just to buy a little studio set up at home, and they can just program it all in, which it can be amazing and it's really good fun. But playing a real instrument, there's no comparison at all. But if you take a little bit of the machine work and a little bit of the playing, and if you can put them together, that's very magical as well. But it's lovely to be able to do that and then just go, I'm not doing that again. Let's do just completely natural.
Exactly, but what you've got there is a nice balance between left brain and right brain. You've got the mechanical side and you've got the inspirational side, and like Mike did, as you said earlier. I mean, it fused the two genres. I don't have a problem with machine because I use machines, as we're looking here. There's lots of it, but the how can we say the human aspect. What it does to a human mind, and just learning the breathing and the fingering and the techniques, this is a wonderful thing.
Absolutely, and there's so much. There's so many different techniques on whistle, but when it boggles the mind a little bit. How can something that looks so simple just have so much?
It's a primal instrument. It's like the drum. I mean, after the drum, the first thing that they brought through was a reeded something to blow down, and then they started that, and then from there. It all burgeoned into being music, but it's a wonderful thing. So you also play stringed instruments, so a bit of a fiddler and a bit of a sitar-ons.
Guitar and God knows what. I didn't have many friends when I was younger, it was just instruments.
But did it pull the women? Did it help?
No.
I think we'll end it on that note.
Brilliant.
Okay, this is the Optima F. You haven't tried one yet. I've given you the funky head, so have a little play and tell me what you think.
brilliant whistle. And this design here, the plastic head, is supposed to help players transition from penny whistle to low whistle. But for me, this like playing this particular whistle, it's no different to the ones that I play. The plastic head is it's just a brilliant whistle, easy to play, really nice sounding, and it will inspire anybody to play because it's that nice sort of sound. And you can put it on loads of different things, on loads of different genres. And I find that, like, you know, you can put a load of, you can swamp it and delay and reverb and then put it on a heavy rock track, and people will go, "What is that? That sounds really fucking cool." And you know, and just it's what it's all about. And yeah.
What about breath requirement?
Breath requirement. It's easy peasy. Nothing. The air flows through it and falls through it. It's absolutely brilliant.
And tone. And
tone. It's warm. It's clear. It's crisp. And it's easy to play at the same time. You don't find many instruments like that. So totally, this will inspire many.
How do you find the scalloped holes? Because I'm trying to scallop everything now.
Really comfortable, and particularly if you were to play it without a piper's grip, I think people would be really happy with how it is. But with piper's grip, it is more comfortable.
Have you got something slow you could play on it?
Yeah. American tune. But yeah, this is a brilliant instrument for anyone who wants to play something new or playing low whistles or want to go into low whistles from penny whistles. This is perfect.
So an F is a nice transitional.
F is a really nice transitional key as well, just because it's a bit smaller than the D, and people always do kind of go, got to stretch ridiculously so to get there. Whereas with an F, I've always found it a really nice key. And
well, you've had the Optima D for a while. I'm going to give you my one because yours is a tunable. This is the budget model. £49. Have a blast on that, and I'll be interested in your comments. Again, for £49, this is a brilliant instrument and just so warm and mellow, and as I say, it's just got such a scope for playing in so many different genres. Where Kev mentioned many years ago that it had a good texture within the tone, but he liked that he could tongue it and all of these little tricky things.
Yes.
Have you got any little tonguing tricks that you can do to show it off, just as a set? Because it doesn't take a lot of air, does it?
No, it doesn't.
So you can really get the tonguing aspect.
Get the whole kind of. take all that flutter tongue and whatever, and it's just amazing sound again.
Yeah.
It just falls through the instrument.
Absolutely. Would you have a message to people who are not whistle players, who are thinking to take on the instrument? I mean, what would you say to somebody who's saying, I'm kind of thinking about a whistle?
I would say it is a brilliant instrument. It's pretty simple design, but it's got so much capability to it, and so many different techniques, and such a scope for playing in different genres again. If you're moving from a classical flute to a whistle, as I did, the classical flute can sound quite twee sometimes, whereas this certainly doesn't. If it's played in the right hands, and if you're using the classical techniques, it sounds brilliant. And for those who are moving from sort of flageolets or penny whistles onto these things, onto these low whistles, they are just so mellow and warm, and they sound, again, less twee or less shrill. And
almost what our class as an earthy quality.
An earthy quality. Yeah. There you go. That's and it's just such amazing, simple instruments. You don't find stuff like this nowadays, and you can put it again into any category. It doesn't have to be Celtic music. It could be jazz. It can be rock. It can be just so many different things. And so definitely get it.
Well, I've just made you an E.
You have.
And give us a blast on that.
It is. Kerry Pro.
Kerry Pro E.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it takes these handmade ones, they've got quirks, and you've only just got it, so you're gonna have a bit of time with it before you get on top of it. But
I love it.
So anyone listening, don't ask me for an E Kerry Pro because they're just impossible. You've got an old what is it, a Chieftain E down there, which I've just given a scrape to, and something I would mention to people who have got whistles and had them for a while. You may need to look at the underside of the bevel, that bit there, because it can build up muck under there. So I've told Toby to get a little nail file and just give it a clean now and again, and it keeps it nice and sharp. So I've just adjusted his old E Chieftain, and that's what it sounds like.